Yo, so at 3:37 a.m. last night, I was thinking about all the games I had against titled players, and that actually made me realize that I have a pretty good record against these titled players. So today I'm just gonna be analyzing some of my games against them and seeing if titled players play chess any differently than we do. So this was the first time I've ever played against a titled player. It was about a year ago and I was still 1900, and I was playing against a 2090 CM from Brazil. And I'm not gonna lie, this, like, no disrespect to this guy, but he must have tilted out of his mind to get to 2090 on chess.com as a CM. But I mean, I guess that just happens when you get older. I started the game out with e4. This is what I used to play, what I still play a little bit. He played knight f6, the Alekhine's defense, and I actually didn't know very much theory, but I just played like how I felt like playing. So I played e5, kicked the knight away, and then grabbed the center. And so d6 is the main line, and I play this line where I just take and play c4, which is, it kind of looks like a Scandinavian, like a modern Scandinavian structure. Like instead of knight f6 here, and then now you play knight f6, and then d4 takes c4. It's very similar to this kind of modern Scandinavian structure. And now we kind of go back into the book moves, and I just bring my knight out, and here chess.com gives knight c6 a mistake because it says that instead of immediately bringing this knight out here, the Stockfish wants you to play g6 and develop the bishop here to just kind of get control of this diagonal. But I mean, really, like, there's no real way for me to punish this move. d5 is, yeah, I guess d5 is the way I punish this move. And then knight e5 looks bad for me though, but I guess I just play bishop e2 and this is fine. And so here I just have a very strong center. So bishop e3, g6, which is apparently an inaccuracy, but a couple moves ago it says it was the best move. h3, which is a mistake for some reason. Stockfish still wants me to go d5, kicking out this knight. Takes, and now bishop g7, putting pressure on this pawn. So I defended with rook d1 and then castles bishop e2, just completing my development and getting ready to castle. He strikes in the center with e5, and now this entire time chess.com has been wanting me to push this pawn, and the moment I push this pawn, it gives it a mistake because apparently d takes is better. But okay, after d5, he plants his knight in the center, which is probably why chess.com wanted me to take instead of push. Takes because that knight is definitely much stronger than this bishop here. And then knight b5, going after this pawn, because now he has this kind of doubled but also isolated pawns, and this is a huge weakness, and he's honestly kind of a bit overextended. So yeah, rook e8. I grab this pawn, which is a blunder because he gets this pawn actually, and so there was no reason for me to immediately take here because there's no way for him to defend this. And so the best thing for me to do is simply castle to get rid of this pin, and now my c4 pawn is defended. But at that time I wasn't good at the game, and so of course I didn't see that. I just saw a free pawn and I took it, and then he took this pawn, and now I could have gotten a good position, but now it's almost -2. So now I castle, and then rook c8 is a miss because this pawn was literally just free. There's no reason why he couldn't take that. And then this is also a miss because apparently I had knight c6, which is just a completely ridiculous non-human tactic. No human plays this move. Like, I think the idea is, okay, if bc, then bishop c4 and we just trade. But if he doesn't do that, top engine move is knight e5. Here it gets really complicated though, because I can either take his queen or take this knight. I have to do one of the two. And so yeah, let's say I take his knight. Bishop takes, and now this position is like -0.5, which is still like relatively equal but not very good for me. I'd much rather prefer to be black in this position because these rooks are much more active, and this bishop is on a super strong diagonal and much more active. But okay. So yes, bishop c4 is a miss because of this ridiculous knight c6 tactic, but takes and retreating my knight back to b3. He takes on b2, which is still just a free pawn. I don't know why I never defended that. I just could care less. Okay, I contest his rook on the open file, and then he blunders with king g7, but I miss the move and play queen d3 because the best move was literally just a simple fork. Queen e2 forks the rook and the bishop, and the only way he can like not lose material from this is bishop c3, attacking my rook. So if I take his rook, he takes my rook. But I mean, like, I take on c4, he takes on e1, and now my queen is very active. I get this diagonal for me opens up potentially, and like, I have like a relatively good knight, and his bishop isn't doing anything here. But I obviously missed that since I miss a basic fork, but okay. Like, I don't even know what my idea with queen d3 was. Like, I attacked this rook, but I don't know why I didn't just go queen e2 to also attack this bishop. But now, it could have been almost equal, but now the engine gives us -2. So because he plays queen c7, and he takes complete control of the c file. And so I play rook e2 to stop anything from getting to c2. And now he blunders again with bishop e5, and now, as Gotham Chess would say, I sacrifice the rook! Because after takes, I play d6, and this pawn is going places. He can't play a move like queen d7, because then this rook dies, and so he's forced to keep guard of this rook. So he plays e4 first, asking my queen what I'm gonna do. And so I immediately blunder after sacrificing my rook with queen d5 because I only have 2 minutes, and so I was actually sweating. My palms were sweating. So I just play quickly, but queen d5 is a blunder because engine has this ridiculous queen f1 move, and the idea is that my queen keeps an eye on this rook, and so he can't take this because I take his rook, and there's also, he doesn't have rook c1 because my knight just takes, and so this pawn is still going places, and his queen is stacked, so his queen is forced to like move back, and then I can keep pushing this pawn, and basically I think he's forced to lose this rook. Basically, yeah, top engine move is takes, and I just pick up the rook for free, and this is a winning endgame. But I miss that, and instead I play queen d3 or queen d5, which allows queen c6, and now it's an offer of a queen trade, but I can't take this rook, so queen e5 check. King h6 was the key move there because it allows queen e7, now king h6, and there all I needed to do was take this pawn. This, I have a +4 advantage. It's just over because, wait, actually, why is this over? I'm down in exchange. I don't understand. If I take on f6, I actually have, I have this sequence where I play g4, h4, and then queen f8 is mate, so it's hard, it's like a mating net. It's hard to stop mate, but also this pawn is going places, and instead, since I played this d7, I allow rook c1, which looks like it's giving up in exchange, but actually if I take it, which is what I did in the game, he takes and he forces a perpetual, and so this is drawn, even though this pawn, he has no way to stop this pawn, but he just takes a perpetual, which is how this game ended. But I think I shouldn't have taken it. I should have just played king h2, because here queen c7 check, and I can block with g3, and so now there's no perpetual, but it's still kind of unclear, but this pawn is definitely very strong. So rook d1, this is how the game could have possibly continued. Rook d1 is his best move, queen f8 check, and then his king moves, and now I get my knight in the game, knight c5. This knight actually is doing everything because it defends his pawn, but it also threatens this royal fork. Let's say queen b6. Queen b6 allows queen e7 though, right? And how is he gonna? Oh, I mean, no, how's he gonna stop knight e6, d8, queen? Okay, king h6, knight e4? Okay, actually, I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but I mean, this was just an absolute wild game. I had the nerves of going against a CM, but I mean, this idea after f6, okay, f6 is a miss, but takes, and instead of playing d7, which is obviously the natural move, I have to take here and fight for this mating net, which is super, super hard to see. Okay, and just one more bonus game where I actually won. I was playing a Blitz game in a Blitz tournament, like a Blitz arena, and my Blitz rating is a little bit tilted right now. Just 300 points tilted, but I went against the 2100 NM, which again, no no disrespect to this guy, but he must have tilted out of his mind to get to 2100 as an NM on chess.com. But okay, I play c4, the English opening, and so yes, I mean, very standard opening. I play this Botvinnik system, and my idea is to basically have this kind of structure where I castle, put my bishop on e3, h3, king h2, and then f4. That's basically my idea for this system. And I mean, I just like this system because it's called a system, but you really have different things to do each game. And I mean, there's just a lot of complications and often a lot of imbalance. But he strikes in the center with d5, take, and now I get this super strong center supported like this. And the best way for black to usually oppose this kind of center, because it resembles in advanced French, is to play the c5 move, but his c pawn is gone, and so this center is basically it's kind of hard to like crack open. I guess you'll eventually play f6, but that's kind of weakening. So knight c6, bishop e3, we just get our pieces out, and yeah, now he goes for this f6 break, which is, chess.com likes that move. But I take, and then I just castle. And so here he plays b6, which is a blunder. So knight b6 is best. Knight b6 is what chess.com wants. But b6 is a blunder because this allows this knight d5 tactic, which is, actually probably should have seen this, but yeah, after takes, I just pick up 2 pawns. Actually, I grab 2 pawns because this is a fork. But yeah, I mean, I don't see that because it's blitz, and I tilt and blitz, so I play rook c1, and now he gets to defend his knight. Knight b5, kind of trying to exploit the dark squares that he's opened up. Yeah, I mean, he's just defending this d6 square here. And okay, bishop h6, which is okay, kind of just creating this opportunity and kicking out his rook. Yeah, so my idea with knight f4 is to go after this pawn, and I mean, this position is already +3 for me. It's hard to defend this. Like, even if he pushes, I can still go in, but he plays bishop f8 to remove my bishop, but I get to take this pawn, attacking his queen and his bishop, and after his queen moves, knight takes f8, knight takes, and now I grab this pawn, and this is a skewer, picking up the exchange. And I mean, also, if he just doesn't do anything, I'd take this knight instead, because a full piece is better than an exchange. So king h8 getting out of the way, and so now I pick up another piece after he blunders this, and he resigns because he has to go cry that he lost to someone almost 500 points lower than him. And yeah, because I'm simply picking up the bishop here, and I'm just of way too much material. My next moves are going to be like queen f3, or maybe even queen b3. But yeah, I mean, his king's way too weak. I can even trade this off. This knight is almost hanging. I'm going to bring my rook, and it's completely lost for him. But yeah, from these games, I've discovered that titles literally are just there to look cool, and rating is just a number. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more kind of this like analysis content, let me know.